attributed to blocked blood vessels in the calf muscles, as well as erectile dysfunction and other things. So the blood vessels that go to the heart, if they get blocked, that's what it results in a heart attack. And if the blood vessels that lead to the brain get blocked, that's what results in a stroke. So it is blockage in both cases. So what is it that is causing this blockage? If you ask yourself the question, if we remove from our diet and our lifestyle that which is causing the blockage, one part of it is, some of it is triggered by stress, definitely, and our practices today definitely help us. And the other part, equally important part, like we showcased, is the food. So what is causing this blockage? Foods that the body doesn't recognize. It doesn't know what to do with these foods. And hence, it deposits it in different places, also because it damages the innermost layer of the arteries. So what is this blockage? This is what you're born with. When you're babies, your blood vessels are squeaky clean, with no deposits. This is the blood vessel of an 11-year-old in the United States. Studies have shown that 11-year-old children have starts to show signs of white streaks in their blood vessels. And then so on and so forth. So you can see that it results in either a stroke or a heart attack. And what is happening inside these blood vessels? Though there are lots of tests and other things that can detect it, is best changed by food and your lifestyle. So what is this plaque that causes this atherosclerosis? So this plaque is made up of fat and cholesterol and a few other substances. That's the main ingredient of what is causing this blockage. And what are the foods that we eat that have this fat and cholesterol? We produce our own cholesterol. Human bodies need cholesterol just like all other hormones, and we produce our own cholesterol, and we need the cholesterol that we produce. And that is not harmful for our bodies. But when we consume animal products, all animals produce their own cholesterol, including the cow and cow's milk and dairy products, including beef, chicken, turkey, all of that, fish, seafood, shrimp, all of that, eggs as well. So all animal products, if a food has come from an animal, it already has cholesterol in it. So if your level of cholesterol is right over here, then when you consume these foods that all have external cholesterol, that loads up the cholesterol on your bodies. That's how your cholesterol becomes high. And eliminating animal-based foods out of your diet will help you reduce your cholesterol. And also remember, if your cholesterol is high, it is not a problem and it is not harmful for you. Only the cholesterol that you're consuming and from an external factor that adds up to the level of cholesterol in your bodies is harmful to our bodies. I have no patients in Morehouse. I also teach at Morehouse School of Medicine on a weekly basis since 2017, alongside a doctor. So what are the complications due to hypertension or high blood pressure? You can see all of these are complications. Headache is a very big factor. Migraines come under this. All kinds of headaches are a big factor in all of this. Okay? We shouldn't be relegating headaches if we are, healthy and active. So complications from diabetes. You notice that it's gradually increasing weight, increasing blood sugar levels, no matter what you're doing, higher doses of medication, heart disease. The same medication you took is not responding as well, and you need to keep increasing. And same thing happens for hypertension as well. So what are these lifestyle factors? Like we mentioned, major factors of food, and we cover that in a little bit. Stress management, as you already know, we are covering that in this. Restorative sleep, that is also connected to the class that is taking place today. Then social connections, relationships with people. So we don't get too worked up about, the highs and the lows between all these relationships we maintain among friends, among colleagues, among people at work, people at home, children, kids, all of this. How do we handle all of this? Physical activity. In addition to what we are doing for the mind and our emotional level through meditation, we need to be doing exercise. We are walking, moving species, just like gorillas and orangutans and all these other animals. So we need to be moving. So move Physically move. If you're on a phone call, walk up and down inside your home. Walk outside. At least get 3 to 4 miles of walking every single day. Break it up if it's too much at one time and you can devote the time. Walk with your children. Take the children with you because they are what you do, not what you say. What you say is one part of it and we wonder why they're not listening. But they do what you do. And that's how they're learning. Of course, avoidance of risky substances such as cigarettes and alcohol. So what should I do to stay healthy and vibrant is the question. So that's the question. Eat plant-based, that is one option. So let's take a look at what eating plant-based means. So this is how your food pyramid would look like. Fruits and vegetables, everything all across the rainbow. Eat lots of it. If you feel like eating any sweets, tend towards grapes or oranges or anything sweet like that. Persimmons are available during December, Jan. They're amazingly sweet, nature's candy. All fruits are nature's candy, so indulge in them. Whole grains, wherever you eat, try and eat whole grains, minimally processed. Once they process into flour, they lose a lot of their fiber. They lose a lot of their nutrient value as well. Also, all these flours, as you can see, they stay in the grocery store for long periods of time. Long shelf life products, as we call it, are highly processed products. Things that don't go bad, that means there is a problem with that. All those hamburger advertisements that they show that it stayed for 6 months, nothing happened to it, we shouldn't even be eating those foods. So, greens, of course. Consume greens every single day. They clean up your arteries. They are vasodilators. So have a lot of greens every single day. And I'll tell you how to get more of it in just a minute. So what are the benefits of this plant-based nutrition? Yeah, go back to that. You want to take a picture of it? So eat whole foods, minimally processed, as available in nature, as made by nature. So what are the benefits? We can gain healthy weight. You see that our younger populations, the biggest concern now for pediatricians is childhood obesity. Young children, teenagers. You can see it happening. And the shift has been happening for the last 30, 40 years. There was no such thing as obese children. Children are now succumbing to diabetes. 13-year-olds are they're finding, doctors are finding, pediatricians are finding that they have diabetes. High blood pressure, hypertension, 13, 14 and 15-year-olds. So it lowers blood pressure, improve cholesterol, all of these things. So not only that, your risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, dementia, and certain forms of cancer, which no single pill can do. So how do we get started? What do we eat? This is how your plate should look like. This is one of my favorite slides. Your plate should look like this. Your children should be gravitating towards foods that are colorful. The reason nature has made fruits so colorful is so that we get to pick it. If you go to an apple orchard, if you go to a peach orchard, you want to pluck and eat. But whereas, if you go and see chickens roaming around, naturally we don't feel like, oh, we want to get this and put it in our oven and eat it. This is not our natural instinct. Our natural instinct is to tend towards fruits and vegetables. You see strawberries and you take the kids strawberry picking, that they want to eat it then and there. That's our natural instinct in nature. That's how we survived in nature for all these thousands of years. So all the colors of the rainbow, buy fruits that are in season. Do not buy watermelon now. This is winter. Even though they're growing it in greenhouses and many other fruits and vegetables are grown in greenhouses too, try and do as much as you can natural fruits that occur in season. Now it's the season for apples and oranges and pears. So eat lots of those. Buy them. Keep them in a place that you can see. Cut them up and keep so the kids will eat it. Sometimes cutting them really helps. A watermelon sitting in the fridge or a cantaloupe sitting in the fridge can sit for long periods. But once it's cut, it goes in a jiffy. Everybody wants to eat it. That's one tip. So eat all the colors of the rainbow. Eat lots of vegetables. Lots, I really mean lots. 5 cups of vegetables single day.
I have a question for this.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, like you explained us very well about the cholesterol factors which comes from the dairy products, correct? But
One of the products is dairy, but it's also meat and all other products.
Yes. So I'm a vegetarian. So basically, what my hindrance is, you have given all the colorful vegetables which are allowed to incorporate in my daily basis, but I have a little concern about the glycogen phosphate, which is very, very harmful for the intestine, right?
We'll address that in a minute. First, let's get through what is plant-based nutrition, because these kind of items, which are very valid, it is true. I mean, your plastic water bottles, we can talk about that all day long. So there are a lot of issues in the food system, and we hope that Robert Kennedy is going to address all of this, because children are facing a lot of problems with regards to this. So that's the hope. So let's wait and see. We're all waiting to see what is going to. So please take a seat. Let me finish mine. So lots of beans. Native populations and civilizations all across the globe lived on these kind of beans, lentils, all across the globe. If you look at ancient populations in China, in Central and South America, this is how they lived. So also whole grain, corn, and Central and South America has 50 different types of potatoes and sweet potatoes. So potatoes are good for you. Believe me, they don't put on weight. I have been eating potatoes now for the last 12, 15 years, much more than I did before. So vegetables, both starchy and non-starchy. Sweet potatoes, you like sweet potatoes? Please eat them, include them. Roast them, keep them ready to go, and I can give you tips and tricks. Okay, I have classes every month at the library, and we can find out if we can do it at other libraries as well. Okay. Then, like I mentioned, nature's candy. Proteins, where do we get our proteins? What are proteins? Where are we getting our proteins? When I say, what do you think where your proteins are coming from? What have you been told? Milk. Yes. What else? Milk and milk products, dairy and dairy products. What else?
It's also wrong. So basically, it's a borrowed product. It's a complex package. It actually comes from the grass. So anything borrowed, milk is basically a borrowed substance. So ideally, it comes from grass.
Right. Very true. So where does the cow get its protein from? If we are drinking the milk and you think protein is in milk, where does the cow get the protein to put into your milk? Right? So you want to go back to root cause. What is the root cause of your diabetes? What is the root cause of your hypertension? It's not about bringing it down. It is about bringing it down. It's like when you're driving your car and a check engine light comes up. I'm an automotive engineer by profession. So your check engine light comes up. You're not going to just cover it up and say, okay, now I can drive. Now there is no indication to you that there's something wrong with the engine. That's what we're doing by bringing our cholesterol level down, bringing our blood pressure down, and blood sugar down. But what is the root cause? What is it that's triggering it to go up? That needs to be addressed and removed, right? The root cause of the problem needs to be addressed. So please pursue this for yourself, because this is about your health. You must be asking questions to your doctor and to all doctors. Why is it like this? How long? I know they don't have the time. They want to rush you out of the door. But you go prepared with your questions so that you don't forget and they can't rush you out. You know, they have their constraints, but it's our life, right? We are paying for our insurance. We are paying for the doctors. So you need to ask the questions. What is the root cause? What is, if your child has diabetes, why a 13-year-old has diabetes? You need to ask these questions to the doctor. What is insulin resistance? Find out more about that. So grains, consume whole grains in their whole form, not processed, not white rice. And to some extent, white rice is way healthier than animal products and dairy. So that is okay, especially when we go outside. And others are not keyed into this. So we are. So one trick I was mentioning in the Africa library that Anu attended was that start with just a handful of brown rice into your white rice. Nobody will notice. Observe if anybody notices at home. They won't. And slowly increase the brown rice and reduce the white rice, and one day just announce that we're all shifting. That's it. By then it would be 6 months. Okay? Take your time doing that. There's no need to go home and start telling what you learned today in class, because it's not going to go well, I'm telling you right now. You don't announce anything. You sneak in one thing, one dish at a time, and then observe what everybody says and ask them, how does this taste? How is this made? I made it a little differently. I learned a new recipe or something like that. You introduce it slowly at home so that you get everybody's buy-in without their knowledge. There's a lot of bias with regards to food because you're culturally ingrained in this method of thinking, and we are trying to change the paradigm, okay? Fiber. Children are not getting enough fiber in the United States. Children from 0 to 10 years of age, even though they're not eating too much meat, they're consuming a lot of dairy. All animal products have 0 fiber. Cheese, cottage cheese, yogurt, milk, nothing has fiber. Got it? And we really don't need milk up into our adult ages at all. But look at all other species. They're growing big, they're strong, they're muscular. Think about a horse. Horsepower is named after a horse. They're muscular. Let's do a thought experiment. What do the horses eat? Grass. They're herbivores. Horses that we maintain in our stables, they like oats. So many different types of grains. We don't have to eat only oats. They like carrots. So many different vegetables. We can eat, the whole rainbow of vegetables. They like apples. We can eat any kind of fruit that we like. So readily available for us. So think along these lines. How does the horse develop its muscles? By eating grass.
So here,
You can do the same thing.
Come from? So allergies are the part of the food that we eat.
Absolutely. 100%.
So because I am allergic, like I'm allergic to potatoes, I'm allergic to corn, I'm allergic to dairy products, which means that is it anything related to the
Absolutely.
from outside or it's
Food system.
my gene? Or I don't.
Yeah, food system. Mostly it is the food system. Most of the allergies, and it's autoimmune, right? Allergy is what? An autoimmune. If you have eczema on your skin or psoriasis, my husband had psoriasis, he's had it since he was a young boy. Same thing, his grandfather had it. Okay? And psoriasis is multiplication of cells much faster than normal. We all have dead skin that we shed and new skin comes around, but in these people's cases, it multiplies much more. So it forms little scabs, and in certain areas, especially elbows, sometimes face, even hands, everything, the multiplication of cells is much more, and then it forms a scab and peels out. So, and then you have psoriatic arthritis also. Arthritis also is an autoimmune condition. Nobody knows this, and I don't know why we don't get explained all of this, but we can do our best. If we can do a lot of things by food, we can take a little help from the doctors, we'll be in good, vibrant health up into our older age. It is predicted that the elderly in the United States are checking into these full care facilities and in wheelchairs, on walkers, the last 10, 15, 20 years of their lives. We don't want to be that. That's the goal. The goal is not for us to live till 200. That's not what we can achieve. We all have a cycle of life. But lead your best life as long as you're here. Be mobile and be able to climb stairs up and down, up into your 80s and 90s. When you turn 50, there's no need to change your house into a ranch house and look for one because you don't want to climb the stairs, or you can't climb the stairs. That shouldn't be the case. Get it? Fiber is our friend. Eat lots of fiber. All of this has fiber. And like I mentioned, the grain that is powdered and the flour form of the grain that we consume, it goes long shelf life. Notice your chapati flour never goes bad. Why? Because that which goes bad has been removed from it, which is the oil coating. Everything comes packaged in oil. All vegetables have oil. It's not just fats, carbohydrates, proteins. It's not like that. Everything has everything. Rice has rice bran and rice bran oil that they make from it. So rice is sold twice. They sell the white rice to you, and then they sell the rice bran oil to like cookie manufacturers, people who make muffins, these whatever Debbie Cupcakes or whoever these people are, Wonder Bread or whatever, all these people buy these things, the byproduct of white rice. Whereas you consume the whole brown rice, you are getting fat as part of it. Everything is like that. Bell peppers have fat, they have protein. Broccoli has protein, it has fat. It's not enough to put in a bottle and market it and sell it, but it has. Same with corn. If you look at corn and eat corn, you cannot think that you can make oil out of that, but they do. Same thing with olives. If you eat olives, you don't feel like you can get oil out of them. At least you can say the nuts, peanuts and sesame seeds and all that, you can see that they're, high in fat. But all these fruits, they get oil out of it because they've made it viable. And for your information, manufacture of oil, heavily synthetic. So many additives are added, hydrogenated, then the smell is removed, the color is removed. It does not actually have a shelf life at all. It's an oxidation process similar to your apples and bananas. Fruit, how it oxidizes if you cut it up and let it sit. That's the same thing that takes place with oil, and it's not good for our health, for our arteries at all. So drink lots of water along with this fiber. Okay? Replace all the refined grains like I was talking to you with whole grains. Got it? Then what should we be eating? Whole foods, plant-based, minimally processed. Okay? So make all your family favorite foods. Make it, colorful so the kids love to eat it. Believe me, if you put a plate of colorful vegetables in front of children, they're going to pick that versus whatever else we, give them as foods that is processed. I have done these experiments on little kids and it's really true. 3-year-old, 4-year-olds. Eat lots of vegetables and fruits. Buy them, weekly. Open up your refrigerator and take out what vegetables you're going to eat today. Plan ahead. It really helps. Have little gadgets, tools to cut, tools to chop, tools to grate and make a quick salad. In 20 minutes, I can make a huge bowl of salad for like 40, 50 people. Okay? I'm going to be running cooking classes at home, so join me. And I have once a month, I have a free meetup at my home. So join us. Eat lots of whole grains. Eat lots of whole grains. You can make pancakes out of this for kids, for yourself, for the weekend. Eat lots of potatoes. Omit the oil. Oil is not good for you. Back home, I think Modi has a directive now of reducing oil by 10%. I really don't know how we're going to calculate that and implement it for our lives, but better to not eat any of the deep fried food. Make these bowls. Kids will love them. They can mix and match, and that's why they feel that they are preparing their own food. Keep little containers of all different things. Hide vegetables in, tomato sauce, in various forms for children, so they don't know they're eating all their vegetables. Sweeteners. What should you be eating? Sugar is toxic. The process in which sugar is made and the way it's being used today, sugar is in every single food item you buy at the grocery store. Every single item. Restaurant, definitely. I was listening to some chef who was giving a talk about his recipe, and every bowl that comes out of the kitchen to the table, they say they will either put a little bit of butter or a little bit of oil, something like this, so that it satiates you, so that you get addicted to these things. Salt, oil, sugar. These are the 3 things they entice you with. Try to reduce these things in your cooking at home, but make it flavorful. That doesn't mean you have to eat steamed food and just boiled vegetables. Make them flavorful. Add the garlic, add the onions, add all your spices. Eat all the ethnic cuisines. Just avoid the animal products. Thai, Mexican, Indian, Italian, I teach all these cooking classes. Eating out. Avoid animal foods, and then processed, and now they've started a new term called ultra processed foods. Oil is one of them. Let food be your medicine. It should be a delight to visit your doctor and learn the good things that you've been doing all through the year in your annual checkup. So what should you be eating? The power plate. So I want to mention that we changed our food pyramid guidelines for eating, educating our children and our nutritionists what they were talking about in the United States to what is called myplate.gov. That's the plate that we've changed to. But I must remind you that in 2018, Canada made a switch to not offering dairy in their food guidelines, to dropping dairy off of their food guidelines in 2018. So we are 6 years ahead and we have not made any changes in the United States.
So even A2 you're talking about?
Anything, yes. So try it like they said for 41 days meditation. This is just 3 weeks. Your palate will change, your mind will change, like they were talking about in the meditation class, and you'll make the switch. You won't be attracted to these, sugary sweets and others. I switched off of sugar during the COVID time since we are anyway at home, and it really helped. And when I do want to eat something sweet, I'll go get some grapes or cut up an apple. It fills you, it satiates you, and it takes care of your sweet craving. Okay? So I have all these classes. This is Dr. Neil Barnard. He's written a book, How to Prevent and Reverse Diabetes, and several other books. So I have healthy cooking workshops at home, and these are my 3 things that I do. There's personal consultation as well as that for the entire family. There's free monthly meetups at home. I teach at libraries, at the Botanical Garden, at YMCA, in all these community centers for free. It's a class similar to this. And then, of course, cooking classes. That's the best thing.
If you're saying us to avoid dairy, right, then how does the probiotic comes from, like yogurt or something?
Yeah, we'll come to that. In just a minute, we'll get to your questions. Hold on, just a second. So if you want my information, here's my cell phone number. Here's my website. I should have put my email address, but that's okay. You can text me, and don't text on WhatsApp. Please text a regular text, and then I'll text back immediately. But WhatsApp, it gets buried. So I have a website, I have a YouTube channel, I'm on Insta, Facebook. I'm a certified plant-based nutrition instructor, as well as I teach at Morehouse School of Medicine, and that's my phone number, contact information. So this is a survey that, that you can take for the classes. This is more for the classes than it is for, introductory sessions such as this. Now, I'll open up the floor for questions as I prepare my demo for the day. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is like when you're telling there are actually greens, right? So how do you eat the greens without
Greens? You're talking about greens. How to eat greens?
Like I mean, like they have a contain bacteria also, right? Along with that.
No, they don't. So greens are best eaten minimally heated. You don't want to overcook your greens. So you don't want to overcook your greens because they lose a little bit of nutrition value. Keep it here. So greens, consume a lot of them. The way I cook them, I'll tell you. Whatever lentils or beans or chickpeas, if you're making chickpea curry, even if you're making rajma, always think of making like a saag chole, like a saag rajma. Cut up a whole bunch of spinach, whatever other greens that you like, keep it ready. As soon as it's cooked, add a whole handful of them, just like we add our cilantro, right? We put it in everything. We don't really cook it and, heat it up again.
Just wash it, right? Just wash it.
Yeah, wash it and add it and eat it. Buy organic. If you have any concerns about any of these, buy organic. That's the best thing we've got. We should not have got off the organic pathway, right? We should not have gotten off of it. But now that we've gotten off of it, we should really be consuming, trying to see where you can afford and where you can consume organic. You should be consuming organic, okay? So greens are really good for you, and yeah, just a second.
You're going to have same green smoothie, buddy. That's what mom asked for. So, yes, any other questions? So greens are really good for health, and they really help you, especially, to clean up your arteries. Every day you should be consuming greens.
Masters, we only have less time left. So while talking to madam and asking the question,
Yeah. Connect that, this thing, no? Yeah, connect it there. Here, right here. It's okay to run it? Yeah? Yeah, pardon? Yeah. Yes, please.
your class was very good, and I'm quite aware of everything that you will explain. But what was most challenging for me is like I have few confusions which you need to clarify me. So as you said, the dairy is completely cholesterol. So it's high in cholesterol, the dairy products. So
Yeah.
when it comes to
Yeah, that's it.
when we're talking about the probiotics, right? So how do you incorporate the probiotics within dairy?
Yeah, so we can, some of these questions we can take, it's all individualistic because you really don't need probiotics. Whoever's told us we need, all these things they tell you you need, you really don't need. Who said we needed proteins? What about 50 years ago? Where did we know where we are getting our proteins from? There was not such a fad of your grandmother. If you tell your grandmother where are you getting your proteins, what would she say? Right? So these are all things that they put in our head to market to you. This probiotic business is a huge supplement market business. You really don't need any probiotics. We are eating enough fermented foods that, many of the Indian foods are fermented. The kimchi from the Korean side, that is fermented. So our idli and dosa are fermented. Those are good. They put, if you eat lots of fruits and vegetables, you put good gut bacteria. You don't really need all these other supplements from the stores to manage all this. If you do need, we have choices. Okay? If you really think you need, we have choices.
So thank you. So
We have choices for plant-based milk. You really don't need milk. We have choices for plant-based cheese. We don't really need cheese. So that's why we have lots of choices if you do want. But that's good to be using them as a transition. So once you transition, then you really don't need it. I don't really use cheese or cottage cheese or any of these things as much. Paneer has become a huge epidemic of paneer. We put paneer in our dosas. We put paneer into everything. Where now I see, Instagram or whatever reels of recipes where they put paneer to make some dips for children. This is ridiculous. Pardon? No, it's not good for health. Yeah, it's better to make a change to tofu. Yes.
paneer is fat. So
Huh? Paneer is an animal product. It will increase your cholesterol. One small cube of paneer has 8 ounces of milk in it. Understand? So imagine how easily we are buying. You would eat a lot less paneer if you made it yourself, like we used to before. You're not doing that anymore. Everything is processed. What ingredients they are putting into your paneer, you have no idea. One thing, doesn't matter if it's organic or whatever it is.
Thank you, ma'am. One more question. Soya, nowadays, because for vegetarian, soya is good or no?
even that has hormones. It also
No, it's not. Soya is just a bean, like rajma, chole, black beans, just a bean. It is not any of these things. This is all a marketing gimmick. It has protective properties against certain forms of cancer. Imagine if soy was such a problem, think about it. From Japan, Taiwan, North Korea, South Korea, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, all these countries, civilizationally, they have been consuming soy. Do they have all these issues? Man boobs and whatever else everybody else makes it up to be? No. And that doesn't mean we make all our foods from soy. No, right? So manage everything, but eat more fruits and vegetables. That's the goal. Soy is not like a one item food. It's like our chole. We are not going to eat chole every single day. We're not going to eat rajma. So is rajma good for you or not? Yes, it is good for us, right? We all know it's good for us. Don't put all that bunch of oil in it and have oil floating on top. Definitely not the Punjabi rajma or whatever chole they make. Definitely not. So,
Can I have a last question?
yes.
So my last question is, when you said about the plant-based, right? To be honest, I have detected like 10 foods in this: the tomatoes, apple, potato, wheat, and dairy. So these 5 things are even bananas. If you see, I have allergic to this. And so when you say about autoimmunities or whatever, I don't have as of till now. But how can I avoid? So should I have to avoid all these things for other allergies, or should I have to incorporate all these things for the allergies?
See, individually you have to manage your allergies and your sensitivity to things. We make food,
White rice, I am allergic to all.
individually you have to figure it out for yourself. But in general, I can give you general recommendation. I cannot give you specific recommendation for your case. In general, many of these things can be set right, I should say, or you can be in remission in many cases, including autoimmune illnesses like lupus and so many other autoimmune conditions, by eating a whole foods plant-based diet in general. But specific cases, or you're allergic to potato, these are some of the things you have to test for yourself. They may tell you by some skin test or whatever test they do, but it's up to you depending on how severe the allergy is for you. If it's anaphylactic, of course you should not be even trying. But slowly you can try a few things, plus and minus, and figure out. But start with the base that works with you, that you think will work with you, whatever you're not allergic to. Let's start there. Eat more vegetables, eat more fruits, start there.
White rice is no worries for you.
Yes, yes, white rice is no problem at all.
Then what about protein rice?
Pardon?
Protein powder?
Oh, no, no.
Plant-based protein powder?
No, 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 no. There is absolutely no need for you to eat any kind of protein powder. Again, remember, what is protein powder? It is, protein powder is processed. You don't want to be eating anything processed coming out of a factory. Those factories don't work for you. They work for making their own money and their advertisements. Who is advertising for broccoli? Who's advertising for strawberries? Who's telling your children to eat more potatoes or more broccoli? Nobody. Because you don't see those in the advertisements.
I think in general, own money is good, borrow is bad. Same thing. Own cholesterol, own proteins are good.
Yes.
Borrowing is bad.
Absolutely.
Anything that you are taking it from the second hand is bad.
Right.
Take it from the nature, that will be good. I think that's the thumb rule.
God made, not man made. That's my say. Okay, so today I'm going to be making a green smoothie. Okay?
So ma'am, how to remove the glycogen phosphate from the fruits and vegetables or even the greens?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, but we can talk. So this is frozen bananas. When you buy bananas and let them sit on your countertop for more than a week, they get those little black spots like the ones you get in India. That's the kind of bananas you should be using because they're sweeter, that's all. Got it? Those raw bananas you bring from the store and put in a blender, you're not going to get anything out of it. So if it gets too ripe and you don't get time to use it, you can always freeze it because it works well with a smoothie. Last time I made a smoothie at the Alpharetta Public Library, we really needed ice because it was like at room temperature, you know, it wasn't tasting very good. So it's got only 3 things in this. Frozen banana or bananas with spots is what I call. Any kind of greens that you like, even kale works really well, but I just don't use it for demos. And then cut up apples, just because apples are very sweet. That's the only reason I use apples. Just these 3 things make amazing smoothies. Try it, have it, eat it, and you'll really, 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 you know, you will come up ahead. Yes?
Hi ma'am.
Go ahead, hi.
And your session was very helpful. But one question is like, you know, we understand in the groceries, we see like the greens which are lying in a side and the same greens which are frozen and, you know, lying on the other side. So which one to pick up and which are the good one, good for health actually?
So frozen vegetables are good for you. They are not bad because they're picked out of the farm and immediately frozen. So it's farm to freezer, and they are healthy for you. I use frozen vegetables in my demos, in my home as well. They're very good for you. You don't have time. There's no need to fret about, where am I going to get this much spinach and this and that. You can eat the frozen spinach. You can eat frozen corn. And most of these are available only frozen. Peas are available only frozen. So feel free to use them. They don't have any other additives or anything. Not all those breaded, deep fried, frozen food, but just this. Start this.
We have to close the library.
Yeah,
at
that's why.
5:30, ma'am. We'll start our final announcements while you make the smoothie. We'll
Yeah,
close the
start it.
question session.
Yeah, start. So this is all I put, started, and then I just put the greens, okay? You can add chia seeds as well, just in. So this is all you have to do. It tastes amazing.